Welcome back to another video. This is the video version of Raising Your Vibration. Once again, if you want to listen to the audio only, maybe you're at work, on a walk, whatever, click the link in my YouTube description and that'll take you straight to Buzzsprout, the link, and you can listen on Spotify. But let's get in. So today's episode is about something that can change your life quite fast. Now you might be sitting learning skills, hustling at home. Maybe you're thinking about it. This one thing is going to fast track you, and if you don't do it in a weird way, your life will change very fast. So I've got a couple before and after pictures that you might like. It just illustrates how my life changed very fast, right? And still continues to do, because I still do these things to this day. So let's get in. I'll move myself out the road. So you're one connection away from changing your life. That's the theme of this episode, because it's true. It only takes one person for you to make a connection, and it can actually change your life. So this was me pumping in 12-hour shifts up in Shetland. You can see the time here, 4 in the morning, 4:30, and it's dark, and I'm going away over, you can't see it here, but it's over here, the gas plant. Going away to work for 2 hours here, 6:30, and then I went away, worked all day, came back about 6, went to the gym, wrote some more copy, hunted for some more clients, passed out, repeated. I did that for weeks on end, right? It was absolutely exhausting. During this time, I was getting coached by someone who's an expert in this field. And he started to like me, and he even invited me to stay with him in Florida after I quit my job. He said, you could come to Florida and stay with me. And that idea just never left my head. I was on day 21 or day 20 of my trip, and I'm thinking, I've got to go for this. I've got to go to Florida. I'm going to see Christian. Had to do it. And because he'd actually genuinely invited me, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it. So the next week, I literally handed my notice in after I got home, booked a flight to Florida and for 2 weeks. And I also booked a flight to Nicaragua, because when I did a course, this is the power of connection, by the way, guys. You can do this today. You just got to not be a weirdo about it and actually want to be friends with people. It's quite simple, honestly. When I did a course, I met a guy called Matt, and he lives in Nicaragua, and is obviously only a couple hours away from Florida. So I was like, okay, if I'm going over to Florida to see Christian, I'm going to go see Matt as well. So I did 2 weeks each, and these guys are way ahead of me, so they were way out of they're actually really doing well, and I'm still quite new to this, in my first year of doing it full time. So they both invited me to stay with them for 2 weeks. And that's the power of making friends that are ahead of you. And it's very important, because they will present opportunities to you. For example, Christian has referred business owners to me, and I've got work. I've written for clients, and I didn't do a single thing to go and get them. All I did was not fuck it up on the call. The business owners liked me, and that's half the battle, right? Then you get the job, you get the business in, right? So you might be thinking, but networking, it's hard, it's difficult. It's really not. We are in the business, whatever business you're in the business of people. So it's if you can deal with people, it depends on your personality type. But if you are extremely introverted, you're going to have to do the things necessary. Think about it. Without any connections, how far can you go? You might be thinking, but it's hard. Well, how hard is it to really send a message? Honestly, add somebody on Facebook or send them a message. It's not like you're going round to their door. Before you the internet, you're going around their door and cold, what's it called, door knocking and stuff. It's not that hard anymore. Just send some DMs, find people who are ahead of you, connect with them, and don't be a weirdo about it. It's literally that simple. So here is me a week after I quit my job and I landed in Florida. This is me and Christian on his balcony. And like I said, he just moved into a penthouse in Florida. Getting mauled by mosquitoes here, lads. Sorry. He just moved into a penthouse in Florida. 23rd floor, I think. And that's me and him. Finally met up in person after he'd been coaching me for a few months. Gave me a few clients. I got enough. I think I had 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 that month. That was my best month yet. Because it all came in. It sort of all came in at once, and I was like, whoa. And a funny story as well. I'll keep going with Christian, but I've got something else to add. This was just like the first night or second night I got to Florida, and it really hits home because this guy's absolutely crushing it. He's doing like nearly $1 million a year in email marketing, and here's me, fresh kid out the gate, making friends with the big guys. And then some of the friends that I met of Christian, like friends of friends, like I was meeting people who are like millionaires making eight figures and stuff, and I'm just me, fresh out the oil rigs, not really making much money, not any like savings to my name, just making okay money, like most people, right? That's that's what I was, and I still technically am. I've just changed the way that I earn money, and these kind of videos are trying to hit home for you that it is so simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. The process is simple. You got to learn skills and make connections. And there's one more thing: you've got to not give up, and that's quite hard for a lot of people. But you've got to. These things I'm saying is making connections and learning skills makes it easier to not give up. However, your reason for doing this has got to be like the reason why you're doing it has got to be strong, because there is hurdles, you know. It doesn't matter what you do; there's always going to be hurdles. So when I accepted that I'm never actually going to stop until I get to this kind of life. And the life I wanted was just to earn remotely from a laptop. So I'll turn the laptop now. So this was me in Florida, like I said, and now I'm here. Right now I'm in Lombok. I was in Bali, but it's the in Indonesia, and it's the island right across from Bali. I'm sure you guys have heard of Bali. But this is my scene just now. Absolutely beautiful, and I get to work from this laptop instead of the oil rig. Now, if you guys are thinking like you might be in that job, for example, an oil rig or construction or the mines or anything like that, right? Just see it as a good thing, because the way that we operate is that we do, you do courses that last 4 years, for example. So if you've got 4 years and you go all in for 1 year in your job and save some money and get your connections going and skills, you've still got 3 years of a safety net. Now this is what the way that I've seen it. If stuff happens, I've got another 3 years. I think it's till like June 2027 that my offshore tickets back home are still valid. So what does it take when you speak about risk? You make more connections and more skills, but there's still the risk. But then if you set yourself up with like a safety net, like make connections in your job. See if I'm like what I'm saying. Everything's about connections at the end of the day. I never left my company on bad terms, and I've got tickets that can help if I'm in a bad situation. Now, this is important because I'm mitigating the risk for you. I'm not telling you to go all in. I'm telling you to be strategic and smart about it and earn on the side, and get yourself set up for a way that you can create a safety net, essentially. Because when you've got the tickets and you can go to places like oil rigs or construction sites or whatever, you just need to make a few phone calls and you're there the next week. So that is comforting, because I slate a lot, like, what's it called? Speak a lot about how I felt during that period of working. But if it really, really came to it, I would just go back and regroup. You know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? When you make friends like this, when you start learning skills, and when you have the grit to not give up, so what if you go back and regroup for a bit? Like, I'm just trying to paint the picture for you, but you might be thinking, oh, it's risky. It's like, the way that the world's going is everything's risky. Honestly, like, what? I don't know what your everything is risky. The job that you probably do at the moment is risky. Like, AI is like, it's here for everyone. It's not just what I do. And the reason in my school group, if you want to click the link in the description, I've got a school group, and I'm speaking about how I got started in copywriting. But what do you think I'm speaking about? I'm not just speaking about how it's going to look in the next year. I'm teaching how to do it with AI, because AI is here, right? And I use it every day as well. So I'm not one of those people who deny it. So just think that risk can be mitigated by making the best skills, connections, and learning the things that are up to date. Now AI is up to date, so, and I'm learning all these things, and so is 42 people in my school group at the moment. So that's just enough of that, right? Go back to here. The way that I got forward was simply by not being a weirdo, by working hard, and actually, here's the thing: when you show people that are ahead of you that you're working hard, they give you opportunities. So when I went here to Florida, I was working with a guy called Michael, just like pay per project basis. I was writing some emails, I was doing some ads. So obviously, you know what ads is. If you're scrolling on Facebook or anything, and there's an ad that comes up, I was writing some for him, and we're just like doing, project basis. It wasn't like we're like working with him full time or that. And then he's actually from the same place as Christian. I know it's it's a small world. So he lives in St. Petersburg as well. And I literally went to St. Petersburg. And so from there, I met Michael and we went to like a cigar paradise bar. And then he offered me like a full-time position in his agency. And so it's like, if you want to speak about a way of getting clients, fly to Florida and you'll meet your clients there and they'll give you a full-time contract. It's a pretty crazy way of like, everyone talks about like cold emailing and people. It's like, nah, just fly to Florida. But yeah, I met one of my longest standing clients at the moment. This is December. I've worked with him since February. So, it's these kind of connections are important. Like I'm just saying Christian here and then the other guy I went to see in Nicaragua, which I don't actually have any pictures with the other two, but it's even more important to address the other guys I've met as well, because it's not just Christian, right? It's a client of mine, two friends, and when you get people like that are doing more than you and they're ahead of you and they know your story and they know that you're working hard, good things happen always. There's nothing that can happen bad from making these connections that are ahead of you. So it's like, oh, well, how do you do it? Well, set up your Instagram, your Facebook in the way that you'd want to be perceived by your prospects or your clients, and like reach out to people who are doing better than you. But don't go in being all needy. Like the thing is, you've got to go in and offer them like basically money straight up. I went to Christian. I says, "Hey, do you do any coaching at the moment?" And he was like, "Oh no, it's closed." And I says, "All right, that's annoying because I've got some questions." And he says, "Okay, you can just book a call here." So I booked a call, paid. I paid my way in, and look what it turned out. And I would never expect that in a million years. And I wasn't even expecting him to do that for me, but he did it. So this is the power of networking, guys. I just wanted to share that quick story today of where I was. This was just the start of this year. No, it was May, I think. And then that was June. And then I've just showed you where I'm at now in Bali. And I've tried to mitigate the risk with you guys a little bit. I hope it helped. Let me know in the comments if it helped, because just think about it. Everything's risky. Staying in your job is risky. Starting a business is risky. The world's going crazy, man. Just start something, have fun, make connections, make friends, and you'll be fine. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.